without working permit. And in 1979, in Norway we had a so-called immigration halt, meaning the labor immigration was restricted in order to secure jobs to the Norwegian labor force. At that time, we had approximately 3,500 Pakistanis in Norway. And then comes the so-called immigration stop in 1975. Today, we have more than 31,000 Pakistanis. And then third generation is not counted in that number. So, how is this possible? What happened? Well, in 2002, I met a Pakistani woman, a mother of 4 children. She contacted me. She wanted to divorce her husband. But he didn't allow a divorce. Neither did the extended family of Mina, as I call him. She wanted to divorce him because he had been abusive, this first cousin from Pakistan, since he arrived in 1989. And when I met her, she rattled off so many names. And I'm good at Pakistani names, believe me. But there were so many names on brothers, brothers-in-law, and cousins who were also brother-in-laws because of all these intermarriages. So I said to her, please stop, I don't manage, I don't grasp this. So that I should have a handle on who is who. We sat down and we started noting down this and this. He has a gun, he has threatened to do this, and so on. And this ended up in what we can call a family tree. A family tree, both so I should understand her situation, but also due to her security when it comes to all the threats from different family members. And this family tree got a great attention in Norwegian media, in Europe. It even traveled all the way to North America and Brazil in South America. Because no one had done this before, to show the real life results of immigration policy. So here it is. As you understand, I can't explain all here, but I will give you the broader picture. If you see at the top, you see Ahmed. It's written the name Ahmed. That is Mina's father. And he came to Norway with a working permit in his pocket in 1973. And in 1978, he brought his wife, the wife he already had in Pakistan, and 10 children, 8 of them belonging to them, and 2 he adopted from his brother in the village. So, as you see on line 2, those are the kids. And the red one marked, that is Mina. And I'm sorry, my throat is not so well. Over the course of the 80s, his children reached marriageable age, and every single one of them was married in the family's home village. 9 of them to first cousins. And to the number 10, there was no first cousin, so he was married to a woman in the village. There was also a divorce, you can see on the right side, all on the right side, and he then went to the village again and brought a new wife from the village to Norway. Meaning that 10 children of Ahmed yielded 11 immigrations. When we go further down, now we have, this is the grandchildren of Ahmed, and now they have started being married off in the village to first cousins. Under current Norwegian immigration law, and this is the same for almost all of Europe, these kind of marriages give foreign spouses the right to immigrate to Norway. Yet, the marriages themselves are obviously not consistent UN's Declaration of Human Rights, which says that a marriage is not valid unless both parties give their full and free consent. And I underline the full and free consent. For what these kind of marriages do is continuously also reproducing the first generation of immigrants. They also create these kind of spider webs, and spider web was the word Nina used, not me, which reflect a set of values that are in total contradiction to the basic values of Norway and Europe, but that are nonetheless sanctioned by our politicians. In these extended families, the individuals are stripped of personal freedom. They live exactly, when it comes to values, as they would do in extended families in villages in Pakistan or other Muslim countries. And especially the women are kept down. So to sum up, here you see the sum up in 2002. Ahmed had by then become 59 members. And I did another checkup in 2006, connected to my book, But the Greatest of This is Freedom. Then Ahmed had became 81 persons. Nina turned out to be a great, great disappointment. She got all the help you can imagine from the authorities when she divorced. The same did the children, so that they should become full members of the Norwegian society. So they should be free persons. In 2008, she married away her oldest daughter to the first cousin in the village of origin. Next year, the second daughter was married away to his brother. Someone was taken. Was married away to his brother. And why this happened? Why she's repeating her own misery? She was married by force. Why she does that? I'm told, and I believe this story, that because she divorced against the will of the family, they pressed her out in the cold. They didn't want any contact with her and the children. So she was, yeah, okay. So she believed that if I marry away my girls in the village and help family to Norway, then they will take me back into their embrace in the family. And that happened. So to me, Nina showed that this kind of immigration to Norway and to Europe from the villages, often illiterate people, is not good. It's very seldom you are successful when it comes to integration in a value perspective. We have some problems here now. I'm so sorry for that. So you can sum up this story by saying that Nina, she was really caught in the spider web. Fetching marriages have been the main immigration route from the non-Western countries to Norway over 40 years now, especially from the Muslim world. And today we have more than 150 Muslims in Norway, out of a total population that will reach 5 million next year. So let's be honest, there is no doubt that integration of Muslims in Norway and Europe, and I guess it's the same situation in Canada, is the most difficult task facing us when it comes to the issue integration. For me, the question is today whether the vast majority want to be full members of a free society like Norway. I know I'm supposed to take you on a quick trip back to Pakistan and initiated a project that ended up as a major report that made headlines both in Norway and Denmark. We visited Pakistan again to find Norwegian children in schools especially girls. Children who have been sent back by their parents in order to ensure that they would not get polluted with the ideas about personal freedom, in order to make sure that they stay on the path of Islam. Among those places we found is this Quranic boarding school, again in Little Norway, in the city of Montreal. This is literally a prison. No sun lets through in those windows. And the conditions inside were heartbreaking. We were not allowed to take photos inside, and we were actually also not allowed to go inside. And there is a teacher in niqab arriving, and here you have guards and the school leader. This is my colleague, Rita Carlsen, from the north of Norway. They have a very quick tongue in the north. So she managed to talk her way into the school for some minutes for a quick inspection, and what she saw was just heartbreaking. I've written extensively about it in the book. When you see such conditions, you just want to scream in anger and despair. Our guide and interpreter, Humara, she is an artist in Pakistan, she was shocked to know that Norwegian-born girls are attending these kind of schools with the indirect consent of the Norwegian authorities. Because you might not know it, but this is the same all over Europe. The parents are in the right to decide where their children are to be brought up. Which actually also means that I know about a lot of young Somali children, parents being refugees in Norway, who are sending their children back to Somalia, the country they can't live in themselves. And the authorities, they turn a blind eye of it. But Humara, she was so shocked also because sexual abuse of children is very prevalent in general in Pakistan, and especially at schools like this. And we only saw male guards and male around this school, males around this school, except this lady coming niqab. And the brutal truth is that our authorities have no clue how children with Norwegian passports are living, where they are, and so on. I'm coming to that now, because we are going back to Norway, because there are almost 4,000 children in the age of primary school who are registered living in Norway, but they are not at school. So where are these children? And so you know it, that statistic is brought to highlight because of our work. No one else cares about this. We have to leave Norway again because of these children. And we have to go to Gambia. I did that in 2005 as a representative for Human Rights Service on a mission to document the fact that Norwegian-born girls are being subjected to female genital mutilations, FGM.